People just underestimate the versatility that ADUs have, where it's just like, oh, it's just one bedroom, one bath. Project we're doing in LA, where the layout's similar to that. It's the living room and the dining room downstairs with a restroom, and then upstairs the main bedroom.
That's a great thing, right, about building. You have so many different options of what we can do, and I think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, renting out a single room now.
Yeah, exactly. You have four college kids living together, but they're renting a house, and each one has their own
designated room,
but they're sharing the bathroom, they're sharing the kitchen.
Yeah.
You don't know how some of these people might be, right? Everybody's a little bit different when it comes to cleanliness. So now imagine you have your own house so you can rent out. It's affordable. You might work on the side, or maybe parents from out of state are still sending you money or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But they're providing housing for you, and you don't have to worry about, hey, I got to go wash, because now a lot of these places too, for the most part, we see, especially on our builds, we do a stacked laundry.
Yeah.
So now these people have their own laundry there. You don't have to leave somewhere to go and do laundry. Now it's just, you have everything there.
It is 5:09 and we just got done doing our project managing, and now we're filming content for you guys, hopefully to educate you guys and show you a little more on behind the scenes of what is it that we do. Jerry, you want to start us off on today's episode on why ADUs matter?
Oh, let me move this one. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jerry. Why ADUs matter?
Right.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons why ADUs matter, it's one of the...
Or you know what, Jerry, could you explain to us what is an ADU? And what classifies as an ADU? Like, can I just put a bed inside my garage and call it an ADU? Because technically now I'm living there, it's a living space. Or what are the requirements or steps that I need to do to build an ADU?
Yeah, definitely. So there's different types of ADUs, and what ADU actually stands for is accessory dwelling unit, which is a smaller independent living space that's located in the same lot as, like a single family home. And it has everything you need in order to live on there, right? So you have like a kitchen or kitchenette, right? A living space, and you need also pretty much have a restroom, an working restroom in there, right? So basically it becomes a little house. You can think about it even like in some cases like a studio or like a single bedroom living habitable space. And we have a couple of different ones, right? Typically you'll find ADUs around 400 square feet, sometimes a little bit smaller, like 360, but typically it'll be a little bit bigger than that. There's a couple different ones that we have, right? You have, which is a detached, attached, garage conversion, a JDU, and basically the main differences between them. Like a detached ADU, it's a separate structure in the backyard, like a little tiny house.
So like it's like own independent home, essentially, right?
Correct, yeah. So it's gonna be basically, you have the house, you have this nice big backyard, and you're like, hey, you know what? I don't use most of the space, right? Maybe you might have someone that's smaller family, and they're like, hey, we have all this extra space. Let's create a little house, and we can rent it out either for extra income, or in some cases, right, they used to be called granny flats. Granny meaning, right, like a grandparent or an older living.
I haven't heard it in a long time. I remember in 2022, 23, when I joined, that's what we heard the name go a lot, where it was trending, where people would call it, oh, it's the granny flat.
Yeah, so it was a granny flat because it was kind of thought about like, hey, you know what? I have parents a little bit older. Instead of sending them out to like a retirement housing or anything like that, they would convert these houses or create a house or convert a garage and create a small living space, so that way they stay close to the family and still at the same time give them their own privacy, right? Give them their own space where they can live.
Yeah.
So hence the name granny flats.
Yeah.
And
they're closer to their family too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's perfect even for like a family that has a starting off family. They just have a baby, both parents work, maybe the grandparents live there, and it's a great, just like, hey, have a sitter in my backyard.
Or it's like, hey baby, it's like, let's go to dinner, have our parents take care of the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of different ways before that you can use them, and even now, right, where you're seeing them that they're being used for, like, say, college students,
right,
or even just like a single person that might not have money, right, to right now a bigger unit or a bigger house, and they need something that's a little bit more affordable.
Yeah. While still making a profit.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you have a college student that's coming from, a different state, and they need somewhere to stay because they can't afford to live on campus, whatever the case may be. Now you have somewhere in the backyard with their own even entrance space, and they feel right like they're getting that experience where it's like I'm living on my own and doing life, right? So it becomes something now where it's used for a lot of different cases now.
Yeah, it's a new experience. It's not like renting out a single room now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you see that before where it's like you have four college kids living together, but they're renting a house, and each one has their own
designated room.
Yeah, they have their room, but they're sharing the bathroom, they're sharing the kitchen.
Yeah. I wanted to take a quick break. If you didn't already know, we don't just build ADUs. We've been building multifamily and residential homes all across LA. We take care of the designing, permits, and construction, and it's all being done in-house. If you guys are interested in your next home or simply looking to add cash flow into your pockets, either click the link below or you guys can find us on Instagram at HTA Construction or at the ADU Builder. All right, now back to the episode.
And before, right? You don't know how some of these people might be, right? Everybody's a little bit different when it comes to cleanliness.
Yeah.
So now imagine you have your own house so you can rent out. It's affordable. You might work on the side, or maybe parents from out of state are still sending you money or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But they're providing housing for you. And you don't have to worry about, hey, I got to go wash, because now a lot of these places too, they're adding, right? They have, for the most part, we see, especially on our builds, we do a stacked laundry.
Yeah.
So now these people have their own laundry there. You don't have to leave somewhere to go and do laundry. Now it's just, you have everything there. So it's great for a lot of different cases.
Yeah.
And now we even see the transition where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna live in the back, and then there's a transition maybe where parents are getting a little bit older, and now they're transitioning, right? Now they're like, hey, well, now the child is starting their own family. They need a bigger place to live. Now they convert to going into living into the main house. And the parents are like, well, we don't need that much space. Like, they'll go into the ADU.
And then I know you also mentioned JADU. So what is the difference between a JADU and then your regular detached ADU? Is it just like a smaller ADU or what?
So a JDU is called a junior ADU, right? It's pretty much created from the existing square footage of the inside of the house. And typically they might be a little bit smaller. They can share like a bathroom from the main house. But these are like an option where you can have a like budget conscience for the homeowner. But basically it's a small little house, but it's attached to the main house.
Gotcha.
As opposed to being detached or being the garage.
Yeah.
So that's another option that people can do. Yeah. And those are considered a junior ADU or a JADU.
Yeah. And then to me, like if I was like a homeowner's perspective, wouldn't a garage conversion be considered a detached ADU, or what's the difference there?
Well, a great question. That can vary, right? Because there are some cases where the garage is attached to the main house, right? You have those garages where you enter the garage and you have a passage into the main house.
Gotcha.
So that'll be considered a attached garage conversion, as opposed to one where you have the main house and the garage is literally detached. It's not attached at all to the house. So that'll be considered a garage conversion compared to the one that is attached to the main house.
Yeah, and so like by garage conversion, don't they like do some demo, or like they gut it? And I know they gut it, but wouldn't it be better they just demo the whole thing, or they just, what's the process behind that?
There's gonna be a couple different options, right? You're gonna either gut it and just use existing space, depending on the size of the garage too, because there's single car garages where there might be anywhere from like 360 square feet to like 400, 500, right, for a single car garage. And there's going to be some that are going to be like a 2-car garage. So there you might have an extra space. It's a bigger space for you to create ADU. So in those cases, it depends really on the homeowner. Like, one, what's their budget? Are they happy enough with the space that they have to create that ADU? And as far as like the demo goes, right, depending also on the current existing structure and its condition, where we might have to gut it completely and maybe change a couple of the framing in there, to be able to make sure that the space that we're using, it's in good condition, or where we have to change. So each situation is a little bit different and unique in its own way. So at that reason, what we do is we'll go out, we'll check it, right? We'll check the existing structure, see where it's at, and then depending on the conversation we have with the client, we will see you together what makes more sense.
Gotcha.
And then from there, there's even places where you're able to build up, right, vertical. So then you can even add, say, like a structure on top of the garage.
Yeah.
Or even the client says, hey, you know what? I want to have a 2-story and maybe have like the kitchen area, living space, but they want to have the bedroom upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds very similar to, I know a project we're doing in LA where the layout's similar to that, where it's like it's the living room and the dining room downstairs with a restroom, and then upstairs that's where it's like the main bedrooms.
Yeah, so that's a great thing, right, about building. You have so many different options of what we can do, and I think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I think people just underestimate the versatility that ADUs have, where it's just like, oh, it's just one bedroom, one bath.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things where you talk to these homeowners and kind of really understand what their vision is. And what's amazing is that we make those visions come to reality.
Yeah.
And it's just through really a conversation, just talking to them and finding out what do you have in mind? What is it that you want to do?
Yeah.
And then we can explore those options and we can actually let them know the different types of structures that we can build. And then from there, pretty much just see with our team as far as like building the plans, seeing what's actually being able to be built, because in some cases we are able to build vertical, in other cases we're not.
Yeah.
So we see all those different options and provide that to the client and see what they want to do.
Yeah, yeah. And then I know in the beginning we spoke about what makes an ADU legal. Can I just throw a bed in the garage and call it a living space?
Yeah.
And false. You cannot just throw a bed or throw a couch and simply call it a living space. There are legal requirements that you do have to do in such cases, meeting building and fire codes.
Yeah, correct.
And I know you also do have to, they also have to check the integrity of the structure alongside of insulation, ventilation, and some safety features such as the smoke detectors.
Yeah, exactly. So, there are going to be some requirements, right? When it comes to building those ADUs. Different cities require different codes, different zoning areas. So, yeah, you will need those safety features in order to build the ADU. It's not like you can just say, hey, I have this garage. Let me take everything out. Maybe throw some flooring on there.
Yeah.
Let me put in a bathroom or whatever. And,
Yeah.
You're not doing anything, but you have to get these plans approved through your city. You have to make sure that you're following these minimum legal requirements. Once you do that, right, you get the plans approved through the city. Right, we check the integrity of the structure, make sure it's habitable. Like I mentioned, there's going to be some garages where it's a little bit more worn out, where we're going to have to adjust and fix some of those items.
Yeah.
And then make sure that they do have the minimum requirements, at least to call it an ADU. And pretty much from there, make sure that we're following everything to plans. And those plans are going to call for those codes, and we'll be able to see exactly what those codes are and make sure that we add it. In some cases, I know we had in some cities where they require a fire sprinklers, and some they don't. And some cities that require you to have solar, and others they don't.
Yeah.
And even in some cases, there are some remodels or things like that where we've noticed that as well.
I always thought that solar was an option for homeowners. I didn't know that it was something that it's required to do.
Yeah, now in some cities they are requiring it for new construction, where now they either require it or have it be ready to have solar. So those are even some cases where solar might be required.
I mean, that's one thing that I do love about construction, and not just our company itself, but construction in general.
Yeah.
There's always something new and like new codes that you find out. And sometimes it's a pain because sometimes it is a pain because you don't know until the inspector calls them out. One of the recent ones that I personally found out, I know we were doing a job walk on your site with one of our window guys. And he had told us that, oh yeah, it's like you guys need tempered. Right. And I'm like, so what? And then I asked, I was like, wait, so we just can't put like any window in? And he's like, no, it's like you're required a tempered window in areas where there's going to be some force, like the doors that open and close. And it was like something that I was pretty like fascinated. I was like, my brain, I was like, I thought the door was just a door.
Yeah, even with windows, right? A lot of people think like, well, aren't all windows the same? And yeah, they're not. Especially like you mentioned, right? It's when you enter the home, if you have a window right there, you want to make sure that one, because it's constantly being open, closed, You might be in a rush and you just slam it, right? Or the
Yeah.
wind. There's a lot of different things that can happen. Or couples might get in a fight. Someone storms out, right? Shuts the door. You want to make sure that, especially have that window there, that with that slam, it's not going to break, and temper's going to be a little bit stronger. And in a lot of cases, you need also temper for like if you have a window inside the shower, right? Sometimes you add like a little small window in the shower, and those need to be what they call like obscured, where it's frosted, you can't see through it. Those need to be tempered as well. So there's going to be, again, there's different types of windows, different types of codes. Egress is another one. You need to make sure you have the minimum requirement. Like if you're in the room and there's a fire, right, coming from the kitchen, you need to have like a certain amount of opening. I think it's like, I believe it's 5.7 square feet opening. So then that way you open the window and someone can jump out of it, right?
What the heck?
To escape the fire. So
I didn't know that. As you guys are learning, so am I.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things, right? When you're doing construction, you're doing ADUs. There's a lot of different things you got to keep an eye out for. Knowing how much your floor is in the race, because then if you think like, oh, you know what, I have enough, like I'm gonna meet the requirement, minimum 42. And you're like, hey, but did you account for how thick your floor is going to be? Or is your floor going to be, is it going to be raised half an inch? Is it going to be raised, 3/4, a 4-inch? What type of flooring are you going to put? Because all that matters. Because now if you think like, I'm right at 42, and then you find out, hey, my flooring is actually going to be raised an inch. Well, now you're at 41 inches.
Yeah.
So that's something now you got to take account for too. So there's a lot of different things. And then that's why, like in construction, especially when you're doing like your rough MEPs, knowing, all right, who should come in first? Should my plumber come in first? Should my electrician come in first? Should my mechanical come in first? Typically, you would want maybe your plumbing to go in first because they have slopes that they need, right? Are you going to run, how big are your drains going to be, right? Are you running ABS, cast iron? How big are those pipes? They need certain slopes. So typically you would want your plumbing to come in first because your electrician, their wires, they can bend, they can move.
Right.
They're easy to maneuver. Yes. So even like your HVAC system as well, your HVAC systems, right? They can maybe move some things around because what they use, it's a little bit easier to kind of fit into certain spaces as opposed to trying to move your plumbing. But there's a lot of things, and these are some of the conversations we can kind of get into a little bit deeper, but because we can keep going, right?
Yeah. This is just episode 1. We do have future episodes planned.
Yeah, so I'm happy to say that with this podcast, it's not just going to be strictly on ADUs or construction, right? We are a Long Beach-based business. We love our city. We're very involved in our city, right? And building, but also building up the other companies and other sectors where there may be, right? Restaurants, real estate, finance. We have a lot of communication and a lot of relationships with different people in the city. And it's not only strictly in the city, but being a Long Beach-based business. Hope you guys learn a lot. And then also, if you're someone in this local, whether if it's Long Beach, LA County area, if you have your own business, send us a DM. We would love to talk to you, see what your business is about, learn from you. We hope that we can build a community within Long Beach and also whoever is part of our viewers, and make sure that you guys just learn a lot. And if you have any questions, want to be on the podcast, send us a message, DM us. More than happy to talk and see what we can do. But this is episode 1. Hope you guys enjoy it. Learn something today. Share this, like this, and stay in touch. We're going to be getting some more episodes out to you guys. We're going to having some guests. So I'm looking forward to continue building this. I'm Jerry once again. This is Paul.
All right, let's go get something to eat.
Peace.